What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about a few different crypto mining stocks today. We're going to be going over BTCM for Fonzie. What's the next one? BTBT for Varunaldo, Marathon, CleanSpark, and IREN for Balloons. And without any further ado, let's get into it. So yeah, Bitcoin, I think before the stock market day closed, Bitcoin was having a red day. But then it had a bullish finish to its day. Let's actually go to Bitcoin real quick. Because these stocks, they are correlated to Bitcoin. They're not 100% correlated, and we'll go over that in a second. But yeah, I think, let's see. If the stock market closes at, for me, it's 2, and Bitcoin opens at 5. That'd mean it's like 3 hours, like what, 21? Right? So yeah, I don't know. Bitcoin recovered a little bit by then. I guess it was mainly red, sure, for like the majority of the stock day, but then it actually finished green. Anyways, going back to BTCM here. Let's see. Maybe that's why we went down, but then we went up. Yeah, looks good. Looks pretty good. You're in this kind of consolidation phase right now. Will you break up? Will you break down? That's really the question to be had here. So far, you do have kind of a double bottom look, higher lows technically and higher highs. So you've got that going for you, but higher lows and higher highs in a range like moving down. That's pretty common whenever you talk about it breaking lower, but it might not. It really might not, because as you zoom out, you're seeing that you kind of went to the top of this channel, pulled back, found support at a previous area of resistance. And when I say channel, I mean I'm looking at it like this, right? Kind of like that, all in all. So I don't really, and maybe it's not quite like that for the top line. Maybe it's more like this. I don't know. That looks a little bit better, right? You can see what I'm going for. We're at the base of this, finding support on previous areas of resistance. I would think we want to move higher. If we move lower, I doubt it'd be by too much. So BTCM actually, and with this very bullish looking weekly RSI, I would say that it does want to move up higher. A move up to, I mean, something higher than this high, but maybe potentially up to like $13 pretty soon. You're at $4.19 right now. 850 is your first target. 1323 at a deep extension, but 850 to about 1090. That's your expected range to go to. So that's probably on like your next move up. Is it going to happen this week? Is it going to happen next month? I don't know. It could be a month and a half until it happens. But all in all, I think you're just consolidating. You're still in this range of consolidation relative to this move. And when you break out of it, you'd probably see a day close, I would think, above 450. Let's see what this is. 446. But yeah, 450. And continue to make higher highs, of course. So that's BTCM. Let's talk about BTBT. All right, buddy, go on. Talking to my cat here, man. Let's see. 0.5, hitting the 236 for support like that. I do like that. This does look like it has the potential to be productive. If you can find support here, you're not only bouncing off your 236, but you're bouncing off of your 50 area where you found resistance before. Very constructive for the RSI, very constructive for the fibs. Your next kind of destination would be up to the 61869, which would be anything from 382 to 406. But let's see how the coming days of the week go, because if you were to close below this 236, that could spell trouble. That absolutely could spell that you go lower than these lows here, and maybe you approach these lows down here, something like that. But right now, kind of like BTCM, you look like you're finding support on a previous area of resistance. So as you zoom out, I mean, yes, it absolutely did have this M pattern look to it. It still kind of does. But that can be, M patterns can fail too, or like that setup could be a false kind of setup in itself. If we move higher, it's not an M pattern, it's just a consolidation phase after moving up, and then you're breaking out to the upside, going higher. So let's see how the rest of this week closes. That was a pretty bearish week last week, but all in all, still green, I guess. That's not a friendly looking candle, but let's see. I mean, we've seen very non-friendly looking candles before, and we didn't go that much lower and inevitably went higher. So this thing can mess with you, right? Not a friendly candle here, but then you pursued higher prices 2 days later. I don't know. Anyways, for now, I'm kind of thinking, again, just kind of wait and see what happens? Do we go lower tomorrow? If we do, okay, then we can talk about lower prices. Do we close the day green? Do we reverse from here, find support, confirm support on the 236, get back above that 382, which doesn't need to happen by tomorrow, but just after this, before getting below the 236, if we get above that 382, then it's definitely on up here. But if we could confirm support at this area and off the 50, that would look really good for at least the 61869 and probably likely beyond that even. But for now I'm thinking we move up, but again, it remains to be seen. You're at kind of a point where tomorrow will give us more information on that. So request this one again, because I'd love to talk about it tomorrow. I'm sure we'd have more data to go off of, more convincing. And just because you go down, maybe tomorrow you go down, but if you close it green, then it's good. If you could go down like all the way back down to these lows. You could form a lower low, but if it recovers and it closes green, it's still going to be a bounce off of this. Like that would still look pretty good. So it's not all over just because it's red. But I mean, if it's a green day tomorrow, then it's probably all over to the downside at least. It's going up. But anyways, BTBT, that's that. Hope it made sense. If not, that's okay. Marathon, talking about Marathon now. Bottom to top here at your 382. That's a very nice area to find support, especially after this move up. It's a pretty strong move up. That's why I was saying that. Hard to say, man. This one is hard to say. I want to say it goes higher, just because Bitcoin and the rest of these, a lot of these crypto mining stocks look good for more immediate price action upwards, but it could pull back first and then go up. That is a not friendly look on your weekly RSI. Same thing kind of for Marathon, except on a more, instead of for a tomorrow basis, I'd say for this week. Let's see how this week closes, because if it closes red here, you've got bearish divergence and you're rejecting the overbought, and that would not look good. So I really, before I make any confident calls, I'd like to see how this week closes, because absolutely we could go down tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday, right? We could go down tomorrow even into Thursday, and then if Friday has a move up, like a big move up, and it flips this week green, I mean, really you'd only have to get above $27. That would be a really good look. So hard to say. Definitely hard to say. Let's wait and see what this week does, where we close, before we make any dramatic decisions on this. Within that time, if we close below 1935, then I think it is safe to assume we're going to go lower if we close below that. Just because we close below $23 does not mean that we're going to go lower. But if we don't see some kind of bounce off of this area rather immediately, the downside very well could be left for a possibility, a likelihood. I'm kind of tripping up on my words here, but that's okay. CLSK, we're moving on from there. Marathon, if you didn't understand what I was saying wait and see. Let's wait and see what this week does. Okay. Let's see, weekly. 1850, that's kind of the area at that 1414 where you topped. Finding resistance, but you're still holding that 1272, aren't you? You're closing right at it. If you closed too much more below this 1272, which you technically closed a little bit below it, but if you closed more than that below it, like down to these, where these daily closes were, I would assume that you were coming back. There's definitely the possibility right now that we could be moving down here, right? And then we'll go to that target I was talking about yesterday, where I think we're going up higher. Maybe I'm off by a quick move. Maybe it comes down and then it goes up. But this isn't enough to convince me that the possibility of going up here rather immediately is off the table. We absolutely could. This is kind of classic to hold support on the 1272 as you're building further in the extensions. The daily RSI is still overbought, still in a position where it could show some strength. If you were to turn the day green tomorrow, you'd be like bouncing off of the overbought zone, which would be a sign of strength for sure. Yeah, that's that one I just did. Let me see this actually. Low to high. Going too much lower, I would assume that 1260, probably prices less than 1260, are on the table. Right now I'm not looking at prices below this. I'm not looking at these extensions anymore. because those are, for one, those are deeper extensions than what I thought would happen, and for two, I don't think with this move, I don't think we're going to see a lower low than that. So the lowest price I would call for if we were to retrace from here would be somewhere around here, potentially. I doubt that we would go too much lower than that, but those are possible price areas as well. But the likely area, the minimum kind of likely area, would be somewhere around here, just below 1260, I would say, actually, for where we're going. And if we get that close, maybe we'll fill this gap, and we will go to like $10.50, maybe fill this gap down here at $9.30, but we don't need to. That is right in the middle of this white zone, the golden zone, the 618 to 69. And we could see that, find support there. It's a very common thing to do, and just continue to build upwards, but we don't have to, you know. And again, that's all assuming if we go lower from here rather immediately. So kind of the same thing as Marathon. Let's see how this week plays out. I think, you know, we've got 3 days left in the week. Let's see how it plays out. If we close below these days here, I would think, okay, it's probably on to the downside. And where do I mean when I say on to the downside? I mean like 1264, before seeing those prices up at like $21 or higher, probably higher at that point. But for now, sure, I would say, looking at the 3 hour, I would say that I'm kind of convinced that the price might go lower, but we don't have that confirmation yet. Let's see how these days close, right, coming up. Let's see if we can close. If we close below $16 on any given day, not go below $16. We already did that today. If we close below $16, I would say likely we will see prices below $12.60, and probably soon. Probably very soon. It could be this week or sometime next week, but probably soon. Yeah. And I mean, CleanSpark today had a 7.2% day to the downside. And this is exactly what I was saying yesterday too, where and Bitcoin yesterday had yesterday being the 20th, CleanSpark's red day today is the 20th. It's just Bitcoin is 24/7, so it already added it. But what I was saying yesterday was that Bitcoin could move up or it could move sideways, and CleanSpark or other mining stocks could move down. They are correlated, but they're not 100% correlated. Just because Bitcoin goes up does not mean these go up. Just because these go up does not mean Bitcoin goes up. You know what I mean? They can run somewhat independently of each other, though most of the time they do run together. And if Bitcoin's kind of figuring itself out, consolidating, this would be a perfect time for CleanSpark to retrace while Bitcoin's not necessarily in a move up. And then whenever Bitcoin's ready to move up, then this thing gets going. But we'll see. It's all a bit of a theory right now. I'm very interested in buying some more CleanSpark stock if it goes down, but we'll see if that happens. I'm not holding my breath on it, man, and I'm happy with what I got so far. So IREN, I believe that's the last one. Yes, IREN. Iris Energy. Looking kind of like it wants to come down. Let's see where you're at, though. This might be another wait and see. No, I think you do. I think you go to about $6.18, probably a little bit below there. You could go all the way back down to $5. That is possible. Yeah, I think you want to go lower. I do. Looking at the daily RSI, looking at how you're reacting with the fib. 886 extension hit, holding the 618. Yeah, you could go. You really could go all the way back down to like 520 area, if not 580 or sorry, yeah, 587, 590. I doubt you go too much lower than this yellow line, though. I doubt you go lower than these areas of support. You know, you probably don't fill that gap, but you could fill this gap. But you might not. You really might not. You might stop at around $6, $5.90, something like that. But lower nonetheless is where I think you're going. Yeah, 3 hour looks kind of bearish to me. So I don't know. That's IREN, and yeah, that's it. So I mean, out of all of them, I don't know, man. BTBT and BTCM, they kind of look the best out of all of them so far, but to be fair, you know, some of these have done more growing recently than those two that look good right now. So just like crypto, man, it takes its turn. You know, one stock, CleanSpark, right now just had its turn where it did really well. I'm sure that Bitfarm, Marathon, Riot, BTCM, SDIG, whatever, you know, they're going to see their fun in the sun too. It's not just going to be CleanSpark the whole time, though. It could be. It is possible. You know, sometimes you do get that one shining star, but is it CleanSpark? I don't know. It's a bit too early to tell. Right now, it does feel like CleanSpark's a shining star, and generally speaking, the brighter the star, the quicker it burns out. So I think CleanSpark seeing a little bit more bearishness right now, while some of the other low-lying stars, as it were, haven't really pumped recently, it might be their time to move up, or at least not drop as hard. Because CleanSpark, again, moving down after a nice move up, it was a really nice move up. It makes sense that it would see a decent pullback. But I'm just getting off topic here. Or I'm not getting off topic, but I'm just drolling on. So with that, I leave you. If you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe to see more. Thank you all for coming, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.